Hello, traders. Good morning. Welcome to the live webinar here at Elite CurrenSea. My name is Chris Forsick, and we're going to take a look at automated trading and ECS, Elite Currency abbreviation. In general, what is new? Another week has flown by. Time goes so quickly, and we're already looking at our webinar number 36. So, basically, as I mentioned already, throughout the last months and weeks, we're working again step by step on new EAs, of course. One more EA has been completed from a strategy point of view and in coding perspective. Carlos Cudera, our programmer and friend, has been working hard on that based on some of the SWOT ingredients. SWOT, of course, standing abbreviation for my simple wave analysis and trading method. So we were hoping that it would work on a daily chart. It really ultimately didn't, but it worked pretty well on a 1-hour chart. We're still working on refining it a bit, but I can share you the first details of this newest system. It's a going to be more and more SWOT EAs hopefully coming. This is a second version of that. I say SWOT EAs because it's all a mixture of kind of elements that can be found in SWOT. We'll probably give different type of names so that it's more clear kind of what system it is. We already have other SWOT EAs running on Eurodollar, DAX, SWOT Scalp. So this is another EA. We're going to keep on building. We got a lot of ideas throughout 2021. We want to keep building on more EA ideas to have a wider range of choice, a wider range of options to spread the risk and have more diversification. So anyhow, I'm going to give you, we don't have it on my FX book yet. I'm not sure if I will do it soon, maybe next week, because we're still working on the system itself and the rules, but it's getting close to being completed. So let me share the screen. I'm not sure if I'm sharing it at the moment, actually. Hang on. Let's see. It's a bit slow. Okay, there we go. By the way, of course, feel free to ask a question in the chat here or through our Google form anytime you want. If there's something unclear, are you able to see the screen at this moment? Sorry for the small delay. I'm not sure if you can hear me at this moment. I will try to close some programs here to make it more efficient. All right, let's see. It seems to be okay. Now it's finally sharing. So I'm sorry for that delay. PC, I guess, was overloaded. I don't know what happened, but anyhow. So yeah, this is the strategy report at the moment of the newest EA Eurodollar 1-hour chart, and going back to 2010, start 2010, ending 20. Or recently, actually, just up till this week, right? So that should be about 11 years. So the profit factor is not as good as we saw with SWOT Scalp, but still positive, and it's still good to have options and more diversification. So it's still something that we're going to consider for using. Once again, it's not earth-shocking. It starts with 10,000, ends at 140,000, but it did take 10 years for that. So good, not excellent, I would say, my own judgment on that, but could get better. And of course, a lot depends on live trading too, not only obviously back testing. So, but I just wanted to keep you on the loop about this. As you can see, this is idea number 9. We got a lot of ideas. So ultimately our idea is to so when we have this on my Facebook, of course I will share you'll be able to see the stats more detailed from a monthly perspective, etc. But anyhow, ultimately the idea is to have a wide portfolio of EAs, maybe not trading all of them, but having, let's say, a basket of options available, and then choosing maybe the 10 best ones, for instance, but having let's say another 10 or 15 on the bench, if you want to use a football terminology, so that if any EA is showing some weakness or not performing as well, that we have the option to take that one out and put a stronger performer in, and approach it like that. So there's more diversification, less risk, riding on one EA. So this is the portfolio idea I mentioned last week. We're working. That's why we need more EAs. That's why we're working hard on that. I'm not sure if it will be 10, but even if there are 5 or 7 or 8, it helps to be more diversified. And if we're studying obviously the past, and when we look at other EAs, Ultimate EA had, for instance, from Mislav Nikolic at Bull Capital, had great performance at the beginning of 2020, but then showed some weaker performance in the second half. So if you're only trading that EA, it's quite difficult also from a trading psychology point of view. But if the Ultimate EA was part of the larger portfolio, then other EAs would have compensated Ultimate EA's weaker second half, and wouldn't have been as volatile. Of course, maybe when Ultimate EA was performing well at the beginning of 2020, other EAs would have done worse. So of course, it kind of also slows down sometimes their growth. But what we saw in the portfolio simulations we did over the last 5 years is that with medium risk, we could, in backtesting, of course, once again, this is not live, but in simulations, we're trying to learn from this process. We could see anything between 40 and let me check, 40 and 100% per year, whereas with a more higher risk approach, anywhere between 60 and 170. So, and that said, the number of negative months with the medium risk approach, once again, 60 to 100% per month, there were only 5 months that were negative out of a total of 60 months. So that's great. The worst month was only 10%, minus 10%, then minus 7, minus 4, minus 3, 1.3, minus 1. And in the more higher risk approach, and once again, category bracket between 60 and, I can actually show you. Maybe it's even easier. Hang on. There you go. So this is the medium, this is the higher. Once again, this is a simulation, right? So we shouldn't attach too much, of course, importance to it. But we're trying to test ideas and see what could work and not. And this is an example of that. You have to focus on this bit here. There's a lot of info here. But basically these columns here, that's the return per year. 47, 41, 56, 64, 98. With the medium risk approach, at the higher risk approach, 64, 63, 80, 118, 160, 170, basically. And negative months, as I said, only 5 out of 60, and it's 10 being the worst. Here, with the higher risk approach, a little bit more, 3, 6, 7, not 5, but 7. And the worst month being minus 14, then minus 10. Minus 6.5, minus 2, minus half, minus 2.5. So yeah, very, very smooth. So, you have pretty good upside, but not much, from a monthly perspective, not much downside. So that's great, as you can see here. And a running total, this is a 10K start at the beginning of each year. We'll deliver this at the end of each year. But if you let it run, if you let it accumulate, then what 10K would be 200K, 10K would be almost $1 million. But these are hypothetical. Once again, I really want to stress this. This is if no capitals are drawn, and also not including the profit share, actually, which I have to do still, because of course this is without paying profit share, and there would be some 20 to 30% is the industry average, of course. So that's not included. That something I'm still working. This is a work in progress. I'm just sharing what I was doing so far. Anyhow, so that's just to give you some small insight in what we're working on. The great advantage of this, of course, is that compared to other assets, is that these are short-term trades, so you can exit. Capital is very liquid, can be entered and exited at any point. Of course, when you compare it to other assets, there could have been a great moment to trade a year ago, but now prices have gone so up that the potential is less. So it's more timing is more important with stocks or cryptos, whereas with trading you can enter and exit really anytime, specifically with this portfolio. Now that's different with just a single EA, because that does have ups and downs, drawdowns, streaks. So if you enter after a winning streak, then yes, it could be a bad moment to enter, even with a single EA. Yes, that's possible, right? Because if you enter here at the beginning of June, you're still waiting to be break even. Whereas if you entered end of December, you're already up in profit. So that does matter with a single EA. Otherwise, do you have any questions? We're about mid-March. So far, Ultima doing well, by the way, from Mislav 21, but there were a couple of buys that were close to target, but just didn't reach target as far as I can see. Now there are also trades in the opposite direction, so it's a bit of a hedge. Probably will end up plus minus break even, as there's kind of a hedge situation. So don't expect that this 21 will change that much. So far, there's no, looking like that. It will stay about that. We still have, after this week, we still have 1.5 weeks left. But Ultima up to a good start. So many are about break even at this moment. Let's hope that the uptrend continues, so it places more of us into profitable spot. Other EAs, well, it's too short to say, of course, but other EAs are about break even. More time is needed, as you can see, to get more info. Our scalping EA, the one that I'm really excited about, is in a strong drawdown at this moment. But that is not unusual. We saw that the drawdown could be up to 22%. So I'm curious to see this. I have high hopes for this, but certainly the start hasn't been that great. That said, the drawdown can be up to 22% according to backtesting. So I'm curious. The worst month was -9. So very curious to see how the second half of the March is going to look like. This is an EA that has a low win percentage, historically 15%, but when it wins, it wins so much that it compensates those losses. And it had an average of 8.4% per month. So I'm really, really interested in this EA. It's the strongest growth potential that EA that I've made, at least. So let's see. So far, a weak start, but it's only half a month, so we'll have to wait for March to end. I'm very curious about this one, though. I guess that's it. Just a quick look at Russia. About break even in March. I had a strong February. All right, folks. Well, that's a quick update from us. Nothing else to add, so I won't steal much of your time. I don't see any questions in the chat either, or in the Google form. So feel free to use the Google form, of course, throughout the week, so we can answer those questions every Tuesday in this live webinar. If you're curious about more of our analysis, check out for instance, the Euro Pound Dollar videos. Check out the blog. Education is full of education articles, webinars. Of course, you can join these events live. Or if you're curious about more about our EAs, systems, check out Forex and CFDs or options, or tools and strategies, etc. All of that here on EliteCurrency.com. And yeah, see you soon tomorrow or next week. Cheers. Bye-bye.